And I was an extra on New Girl.
Were you really?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Well, that was a very good impression. Yo, bro, that was fucking amazing.
Every day of season 1 and 2, I thought I was gonna get fired. The cat tries to scratch me, I'll duck, block, knock his ass out. Like,
as you should.
As one would do.
As you should.
Zoë Kravitz would call me a lot and want to date me a lot. Baby, I'm sorry.
Where were you when you got the call that you got it?
I broke down in tears, man. Crying the whole way home, on the phone with my mom. All the hard work, I said, yeah, this makes sense.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the George Janko Show. Today we have an amazing guest, Lamorne Morris. He is from New Girl, who plays Winston Bishop. Very excited. This is one of my favorite sitcoms to ever exist. Let's stop wasting time and get right into today's episode.
Ooh. Oh. Oh.
Really good.
Could you open up one for him as well? So, unless you want to share with us and you don't mind.
What is this, communion? You just pass this Celsius bowl around and then...
You know what, coming from Georgie, who will literally, if somebody puts their hands in his fries, he gives them the rest of the fries.
Oh, I wasn't going to drink it back after you. I was just going to let you drink it.
I'll let you get our backwash. I'm not getting yours.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's really good.
See, when something's too good, I go, that ain't nothing but the devil.
I don't know if we can say that.
Damn, this shit is good.
Right? New flavor. Okay, Celsius.
No, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
We'll jump into this later.
Yeah.
Before we jumped in, he goes, can I use your bathroom real quick? And I go, absolutely. We have a beautiful guest bathroom. But my cat took the ugliest shit ever. And I was so humiliated that I jumped over, smacked my toe. I'm trying to get it out. And I'm like, he probably doesn't smell it. I turn around, he's like, what the fuck?
He's like, woo!
I smelled it outside. I was like, they take big shits in this place. And then I see then you show me the bathroom upstairs.
Yeah, that's Simmy's bathroom.
I go up there. I didn't take a big shit. I just urinated. Just a little tinkle. And the cat, the one who left the load downstairs, Leonardo DiCaprio,
Thank you.
was up there staring at me, giving me the evil eye. Like, oh, you son of a bitch, you thought you outplayed me. He's like, joke's on you. I shit in your car. Like, I don't know.
Did you get along with the cat that was on set?
In the beginning, no. Because he was lazy, and I like a hard worker. He was a real lazy piece of shit. And he would scratch a lot. He was, because you can't predict what mood they're in sometimes. And when you're doing a scene, in the middle of a scene, all of a sudden he would just kind of look at you and go,
No.
yeah.
Oh my God.
So then what they did was they were like, okay, we can put these little rubber tips on the claws.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
And then I heard that those hurt the cats. Like, they don't feel good. So I was like, this is scrap it. Let's not do the tips. I'll just be aware if the cat tries to scratch me, I'll duck, block, knock his ass out. Like, that's what...
As you should.
As one would do.
As you should.
I got instincts. But then they came up with the idea, brilliant idea. They created a replica cat. So only in the wide shots when the cat's moving around we have our real cat. But when the cat's close to me and the coverage is just my face and you can see the cat kind of a little bit, then we have the fake cat. Because more often than not, that cat would scratch. And I'm allergic too. I was like always fucked up when that cat was around.
When you read it in the script, were you like, what the fuck is this?
No, honestly, I was like, cool, I'm down. Because my character does a lot of weird shit.
Yo, I want to get into that. There's so many stops I want to take on this ride. First of all, for those of you guys that don't know, New Girl is one of my favorite TV shows. Like, it really is up there with Friends for me. Like, I'm not even, and I'm not just gassing you because you're here.
Yeah.
It really, we're back on season 6, which I want to ask you, why are you guys all jacked season 6?
Yeah.
All of you guys are jacked. Yeah.
Okay, so there is an answer to this?
There's an answer or no? But that was one of them.
There is, I want to say for that in particular, so Max Greenfield was always in shape. That's what you mean by jacked?
Yes.
Max Greenfield, who plays Schmidt, he's been in shape since day one. Like, he's a workout enthusiast, takes care of his body, eats right, does all the things he needs to do, right? That's just day in, day out routine. Me and Jake Johnson, not so much. It's the exact opposite. In fact, you know what I mean? Kind of lay around a little bit, drink, kind of just like, what can I lay my belly on today? Like that kind of thing. Playing games like, oh, when I wake up in the morning, am I able to see my penis because my belly might be in the way? Like,
hey, bro, I know what that feels like, bro. Like, that's so funny. Today in the shop, I'm losing weight. I go, hey, big guy, how you doing?
What's up, players?
How you doing, dog?
You about to put in work this week? Possibly.
Maybe.
So Jake, I want to say it was Jake who had done a movie with Tom Cruise during that time, like right before that. So he got in shape. He got in a lot of shape because Tom was forcing him to work out. And so I think maybe I just was kind of like, oh, I can't be the last person left out, so I'm going to treat my body better and then put on some little bit of muscle.
You guys all look great.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
We were speculating. We're like, because it was, Jess came back and she was, jacked. And then like all of you guys were just all in shape, but like super great shape all at the same time. We were like making up all these theories.
Well, Zoe and Hannah, they also, they just take care of themselves better. Like they just have always been like, taking care of themselves. It's never been an issue for them. And like I said, just for Jake and I, it was like a thing. It was like, we got to really figure this out before we lose our careers.
You never looked out of shape to me ever.
Yeah.
In the show, you never did.
There were some times where I think maybe season 5. I think season 5. I think season 5 was when I realized I had a little bit of money and I was just kind of like, oh shit, like I'm going to go out every night and every night I'm going to drink and party and hang out and kick it. And I got so lazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was the one.
You got comfortable, but you worked for it.
I worked for it, but it was too comfortable. It was comfortable to the point where I didn't like how I looked on camera. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you feel tired?
All the time.
Yeah, that's how it would happen to me.
Tired and depressed. All the time. I had a moment on. Go ahead.
Tony Robbins, when we were talking, he said, if you take 10 people that are depressed and put them all in the gym, 8 people will come out not depressed anymore.
Yeah, dude. There's, what is it? Serotonin?
Yeah, serotonin and dopamine.
Yeah, it's something because I had the Prince episode during that week, I want to say. Jake and I were talking, and I would have these moments when I was on set where I would have to leave set and go to my trailer, not joking, because I was crying, and I had no idea why. Like it was nothing to be depressed about. Everything was good. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
You just felt like kind of.
It was a heavy weight. Like I almost felt like somebody poisoned me with something. I was like, what the fuck and it was going on for like 2 months, and I never told anybody. And I was in a dark place. I would go home and just like sleep and not kick it, not hang out. I would avoid hanging out with people. And one day I was on set and we're shooting this flashback with Jake and I. We're dressed like Prince, like we're just like band members or something like that. And like I just was like trying to like stay in the moment, stay in the bit, and I just started crying. I was like, give me a second. And then he like followed me to my trailer. It was like, what the fuck is going on with you? And I told him, I was like, dude, I don't know. I was just like, this shit sucks. He's like, what? I was like, everything. I don't know why. And he kind of like just talked to me a little bit about getting a therapist and, meditation and taking care of myself more. And I did that. Haven't been since, you know what I mean? Depressed since. But once I just started eating differently.
Hey man, it's your body, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you're vulnerable enough to talk about this because I went through this and it is the worst thing because let's put it this way, we're going to time travel back to when you started acting.
Love time travel.
But
I know a guy who did it once. Yeah.
For real?
No.
I don't know if he is like, I know a guy who claims. I didn't say it's
I'm
for
so
real.
sorry about her.
But you know a guy who claims he time traveled. There's crazy people.
Everybody in the audience is like, now I get why she's dating George.
Tell me I'm not right. There's people who will be like, who claim things like that. I don't know if you met someone crazy. Go on.
We might cut that. No, I'm just kidding. But you worked for the position you're in, and and the worst part is when you're in that position, you think you're going to be at your peak happiness, and then you realize you're worse than you were when you were chasing it, and it's all because of your temple.
Yeah.
I got lazy. I was able to eat out and not worry when the bill comes.
Right.
And I was able to go get the dessert. I was able to sleep in.
Yeah.
I was able to miss the gym. I was
Yeah.
able to do all this stuff, but discipline on telling yourself, hey, just because you can doesn't mean you should
Right.
turn my life around.
Right.
So I'm glad that it took you one conversation to figure
Yeah.
out what you needed to do.
Yeah, man. The discipline was the toughest part because you're not used to doing it. Like I wasn't prior to being successful in television, and prior to that, I was having a lot of fun on the journey. You know what I mean? I was working hard. I was auditioning my ass off. I was in class. I was doing shows at night. I was doing theater. I was grinding my ass off, and I was happy with that. Like I was in a happy space because even though a lot of it wasn't successful, I was doing the thing that I love doing the most. So it wasn't like a hard day at work because I'm literally fucking around with friends, telling jokes, playing a character on stage while I'm wearing makeup and dancing around in a costume. And I'm going like, this can't be that stressful. And at the time it wasn't. Even though it was a grind, it wasn't. And the moment, so during that phase, I wasn't looking at it like you have to have discipline to stay the course. I was looking at it like, oh, dude, what I'm doing is working. It's fun. I'm kicking it, and it was always building to something else. So the moment I got there, I didn't know. I was in a whole different realm. Now I'm like, okay, the ballpark that I'm in now is keeping it and building on that.
That gets frustrating.
Yeah, it's like you work so hard to make it, and then you make it, and you go, wait, what? Nobody taught me about this shit. Like,
Yes.
I don't have any celebrity friends like that who's going to drop knowledge on me like that. Like, I don't, fuck. Like, what am I supposed to do now?
Mentorship was a crazy blessing for me when people let me know about that before I got to where I need to go.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I heard you say was like, I think your biggest blessing is the fact that you are having so much fun in your grind stage.
Yeah.
I know too many people that are miserable waking up every day trying to get to their goal, and you were the exact opposite. You're like, I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
And when I got there, now things started kind of getting a little complicated.
Yeah.
You mastered the complication by meditation and taking care of your body. But before we get into the success of New Girl, how did you get to that position, and where were you from?
So from Chicago, and from the south side of Chicago. That's right.
I'm not the south side, but I'm from Chicago.
Hey, what part? What part?
Skokie and Des Plaines.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
That's
not really Chicago, but people.
I call it Chicago. Man, my God. I call it
Chi-town?
Chicago.
Chirac?
You was there. You were in the vicinity.
I left when I was 4. Hey, but I go back for holidays once in a while. It's too cold. I can't do
I
it.
think I like the Bulls, maybe.
Yeah.
I saw a game once on TV.
I never did. Hey, when he walked in, he talked to me. He goes, you know this thing about the documentary with the basketball? And I'm just like this. I'm like, George, don't start it off by not being a man. I'm like,
Nope.
just nod. Yeah.
Hoops, am I right?
I'm good at basketball.
Are you?
So good. I'm very good at it.
But you don't watch it.
Nah. Because I get jealous. I'm like, come on, put me in.
Now I got to test that theory.
No. Put me to the test.
No, I got to test that theory for sure. Damn, ain't no hoop. Okay.
We had a hoop outside.
Oh yeah, we used to have
Whenever you
little-
want a ball, I'm ready.
Hey, bro, please. I just turned 40. So,
Dude,
my body.
Wow, you look
You don't,
amazing.
You look
Body.
so good, bro.
Thank you. Hey, ladies, I just turned 40.
I just
I'm single.
Well, he just made Simi fall down. And now, okay, she's gone. Jessica hit the couch. Damn, man, I wish I had a look like that. Good for you. Good for you.
So, no. No. Shut up.
So you're from Chicago.
From
Okay,
Chicago. I decided that I actually decided basketball wasn't the way I was going to go. I thought I was going to play basketball.
Oh,
when I
you
was
were
coming
that
up.
good.
When I was younger. Like when I was like much younger, I'm talking like 7th, 8th grade. I was like, this is what I'm going to do in high school. This is what I'm going to, So when I'd switched schools and we'd moved to a town called Glen Ellen, DuPage County, about 40 minutes away from the south side. We went there and I did not make the team. And I was like, I thought I was, and I was good enough to make the team. I didn't make the team. I don't know why, but
It wasn't meant for you.
it wasn't. And I started watching. I I started seeing where my happiness lied. I loved playing basketball with my friends, but in an organized, structured situation where it was like critical, like don't drop the pass, like don't fuck up, like coaches are yelling at you.
You like pressure.
Yeah, I was like, that shit right there, I don't know, that's too, I just want to fucking play. And so then I switched it up. I started doing theater, and I was like, this is...
Wait, but why? How did you go from playing basketball to theater? Like, is there somebody in your family? Is it something you wanted to do when you were a kid? Like,
Well, I was always silly. I could tell you that much. I was always silly. My mom is funny. My mom, my grandfather is funny. I've only met him twice, but I met him in his old age, and he was just dropping like joke after joke after joke.
Oh, wow.
And my mom has always been that way. My mom prank phone calls me.
No
mom,
way.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, my mom sends me weird pictures and weird videos of going like doing just she's silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super funny.
I love it.
And so I when I said I was doing theater, I wanted to go into theater. She was all about it. You know what I mean? Because that was a dream of hers that she never got to live. She got pregnant at an early age. When she was 19, she got married and just kind of started taking care of kids and working. So she never did it. So when I did it, she was super excited about it and encouraging. She would drive me to my auditions, things like that. And in Chicago, it was at the time, it was such a small pool of folks doing it that I kind of saw my path before it happened. I was
you
like,
envisioned it.
I knew, I got familiar with who all the casting directors were. I got familiar with all the things that were happening in Chicago. I got familiar with what was happening in New York, also in LA, also in like Canada. And I started just kind of researching all these things and just started asking myself what I wanted to do. And then asking my mentors at the time. At the time I had mentors at a place called Second City.
Oh, that was
yeah.
a great class.
Yeah. So I left. So I started doing theater, went to college for theater. And at the time, simultaneously, I was going to Second City. Just because a guy named Chris Witowski, I did a comedy show with him. He's on The Bear. He's fucking great on The Bear.
Oh, The Bear is so good.
Yeah, and this guy Chris was one of the funniest people you'll ever meet, and he was encouraging of continuously doing sketch and comedy, and I didn't know what to do, so I would ask all these questions. Okay, what do I do now? And they go, oh, you should check out a place called Second City. Okay, going to Second City. Like, okay, what do I do now? My mentors there, Deanna Griffin and David Pompey, they're like, you got to get an agent. I'm like, okay, how do I get an agent?
Yeah.
To like get a headshot. I'm like, the fuck is a headshot? They're like, oh, it's a photograph of yourself so you can send it to casting directors. Every step of the way, I asked a very specific question. How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I got answers, and so I just did it on the most basic level. I got headshots, and I sat with those headshots for a year before I ever got a chance to use them. I was like, what do I do with these? They're like, send them out to casting directors and agents. And I was like, all right, so I'm doing that. No one's calling me back. And so finally, I just had to like grind it out, walked into one of the agencies and was like, hey, about a month ago, I sent you guys my headshot and resume. Half my resume was bullshit. It was just like, I was lying. I made up everything.
Oh, that's so funny.
You know what I mean? Like, I was an extra in a movie and I said I was in it. I was like, so then they signed me, and then the rest was history, because at that point in Chicago, I just started moving. I just started booking everything, and then it worked out.
When did you do
incredible.
extras?
Ooh, I want to say probably like 2020, like 2002, 2001, 2002.
In Chicago?
In Chicago.
Did you love it?
Being an extra? No. You know why?
I loved being an extra.
You know why I hated it?
Why?
Because of the food.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. I did this movie called Wicker Park, right? Josh Hartnett, Rose Byrne, and I really loved that movie. And I'm just an extra in it. And I remember it's freezing in Chicago. And finally they call lunch. I'm like, oh, lunch. Such a big line of extras ready to get their rations. Felt like I was at a fucking refugee camp trying to get food and shit, shaking and fucking and walking like just trudging along, really trying to get some sustenance from my frail little body at the time. It was very dainty, and so I go there, and all I see is all that's left is a big ass tin with like a handful of like fry tips. You know, French fries when the ends break off,
Yeah.
the crumbs.
Yeah.
That's all that was left in there.
No.
I shit you not.
That's very different from my experiences. Because I don't know why they gave you that. Maybe like laws passed, but we were getting great food. That was actually one of the biggest. I would take it home.
Oh God, what a life!
It was a great life, and
What
I was
a
an extra on New Girl.
Were you really?
Yes, and I was.
Oh my God, yeah!
And you know what's so funny was the episode where you guys were encouraging Jess to date, and you guys were in the new bar. It was like a new restaurant area. Like it was not the bar, but it was like a new spot. It looked kind of like industrial.
The outdoor restaurant.
Was it outdoor?
With the
outdoor.
little
Were you
seats?
Were you at the Fox lot?
Yes.
Yeah, that was new. Yeah, we had built that outside of one of the stages.
So I'm sitting right behind, and I'm like, dude, I gotta make my mark here. And so the whole time, the girl in front. By the way, I don't know if you remember this, but extra people take that shit so seriously.
I know,
bro. They're like, hey man, what's the deal? I go, what? He goes, you came up to me and you told my character something, and I went behind the bar. I go, buddy. We didn't say fucking anything. I was going like this, and I walked away. I didn't think I have to do it again. He goes, no, dude, continuity. And I'm like, all right. So finally sit me down. I'm at the thing. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I don't care if I get kicked out. But Jess is like talking to the girl, and behind me, you see me sipping from a candle. Like literally a candle. So, and the whole time I was like, now I show my friends, I go, I was drinking a candle, dude. They didn't even know.
Wait, you made the,
On New Girl, not just saying this, it was such a fun environment. Everybody was having fun.
Yeah, I mean, that show was a well-oiled machine after season 1. Season 1 was rough, but it was rough in a good way because we were kind of working out the kinks, and it was like long hours and things like that. But once we all came to the conclusion that we want to be out after a certain time, and we don't want anything longer than X amount of hours, and we just started rolling. You know what I mean? And it was fun. Every day was fun.
I want to season 1. Coach was a part of were you not a part of it at first? How did that come about? How did you get the audition, and how did you get rolling with New Girl?
So I auditioned for Coach originally.
Okay.
Which is most of the actors, like damn near the whole industry auditioned for this show. And I auditioned for Coach, didn't get it originally. They passed on me after like 2 auditions. And then I went to, they didn't find who they were looking for, so they asked me to come back in again. I read again. They did not, so 3 auditions, they didn't want me, right? So I think one of them I was dressed weird. I think I was dressed with like booty shorts or something.
What?
Nah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was your take on Coach?
Well, because the script had said, in the scenes that I was reading, that he had on like jorts. Like he had on cut off shorts. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, they want to see some nut. Okay, a little testicle. You want to see?
This is a huge leap of a decision.
Listen, I come to conclusions quick. Okay? You know what I mean? So
I gotta leave a mark.
You got to. But it worked. They passed on me. Then they were like, oh, we want Lamorne to come back in and read again, but can we tell him to wear normal people clothes?
Cover up.
And so I was like, all right, great. Again, it was like in a holding pattern. Didn't know if I got the show or not. I had another audition that came up, right? This other audition comes, actually during that, this is a whole other thing. They said they wanted me to test for New Girl, right? The test is when you go in and it's you versus 1 or 2 other actors, and the producers are happy. The producers have made their choices. They have their favorites, sure, but they want to present the best possible 2 or 3 options, and they want the whole studio and network to sit in a room and watch you live. They have the tapes, but they want to watch you live and put you through this fucking song and dance. They want to put you through it, and it's nerve-wracking. But you do it, and so I had that scheduled for like a Monday or something. The previous Friday, I had another audition for a different show on CBS. And they had, I go in to read, and the woman I'm reading with was off book. So like when I say off book, I mean like there's 4 or 5 pages of dialogue, and I have all these big monologues that are set up by her lines. Oh, no. But she wasn't reading the script, and she was dropping lines. And now I'm in my head like, did they cut the scene and I didn't know about it, and I'm just kind of I'm essentially fucking up the audition. I get back to my agent's office. She's like, yeah, it was bad, whatever. And I was like, I need to get back in the room. I said, I need to get back in the room because I can crush that in my sleep. She was
Yeah.
like, this happens. This is my first pilot season. So I didn't know what the protocol was, but I was like, I literally told my agent, you have to get me back in there. I will fire you. Like I will drop. This is my livelihood.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is my career. I know I could for sure book this.
Yeah.
Did your agent feel like you just dropped the ball? And
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. They didn't believe you.
Yeah, because that happens. Actors always think they're the best person. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Is this your same agent that you have now?
No. But during that time, like it was unheard of for someone to be able to just go back in the room and read. So what I did was they got me another audition, but it wasn't with the casting assistant. It was with the producers and the director.
Let's go.
And I was like, fuck. So I walked in the room and she was about to start reading. And I was like, no. I was like, with all due respect, I said, can somebody pick up that paper and
Dude,
read
good
from
for
that
you.
script? And the head of casting started laughing, and she was mad at me. Like she kind of rolled her eyes and was like, and I went, I just want to make sure I get through the actual script this time. Like I start doing it, and halfway through, the producer stopped me. He's like, all right, we're good. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm just really bad. I was like, oh, I'm just a dog shit performer. I'm just terrible.
My agent was right. I should have never walked in here.
I should quit. But he goes, we loved it. And I was halfway through. And he goes, so we hear you're testing for a new girl next week. I was like, yeah. And he goes, can we ask you to tank that audition? And I was like, yeah, make me an offer. And he was like, we just might. And meanwhile, my agent is calling New Girl, saying, hey.
I'm so sorry. I just got to ask from this perspective. Which one did you want more?
New Girl.
So why would you want to tank it, though, if you were going to...
Because one is an offer.
Yeah.
So I'm a guaranteed job.
Okay.
One is you got to come and audition again.
Okay, so
For the
one
fourth
has...
time.
Fourth time. Right?
One's I can pay my bills. One's maybe.
Maybe. Because also if I don't take the offer, let's say I didn't take the offer from CBS and I went and did the test for New Girl and they passed and gave it to somebody else, I still would have had to come back to audition to test for the CBS show. And I could have went up against some fucking dope actor that day who was on fire and I would have been out a job completely. So you got to take the bird in hand, especially in this business, which I found. Ultimately, I found out that it worked out for me, because what happened was the day I go to test for New Girl, because let's keep this in mind. I was still going to go test for New Girl. I said, make me an offer, but the offer hadn't come in yet. So when I'm about to sign this contract, before I go and test, I get a call from my agent saying, don't sign the contract. CBS has officially made you an offer, and I think you should take it. New Girl was pissed. I went to my agent's office, made a verbal agreement with CBS.
No way.
And then a couple hours later, New Girl, they go test for whoever. Don't like the people they tested, I guess. Called my agent and said, hey, if we make Lamorne an offer, will he accept it? No. And I was like, you're 3 hours too late, motherfuckers. Like, you're 3 hours too late. And that was for the role of Coach. So then I go do my CBS show. Sorry, this is like a long...
No,
No,
bro, but
what do
this
you
is
mean?
awesome.
Yeah.
This is a great...
So I go do my CBS show, the pilot, which I thought was pretty damn good. It was myself, TJ Miller, Heather Locklear, Sarah Wright, David Henry. It was great. Jason Jones. It was a pretty dope show. But it didn't go. It didn't get picked up. New Girl, they went and got Damon. And you get him. Like,
Yeah, he's established already. 'Cause
yeah,
his name, yeah.
the show is going to get picked up. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So Damon comes in as Coach, crushes it as Coach.
Yeah.
So Damon was on another show. So Damon was on a show called Happy Endings, which nobody thought was going to go a second season. So once New Girl had said, "Oh, we're picked up and we're moving with Damon," Happy Endings was like, "You know what? We're going to go another season," and Damon has to leave. So because Damon was so good and in demand, he was obligated to go to ABC and do his other show, which left a hole in New Girl. So instead of having someone replace Damon, they wanted to keep that footage of him and keep his character alive. So they rewrote. They wrote another character completely.
Bro.
So smart.
Bro, all of this, because like your guys' ensemble is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
For all of those hurdles to happen for it to fit like a glove like that, it kind of gave me goosebumps all over.
I had goosebumps multiple times throughout because
Dude.
your guys' dynamics are perfect. Like
It was destiny for you.
I think
this
what
whole
it
way.
was. Yeah, you know what's interesting about the process, because I auditioned a bunch of times, even for Winston. Even afterwards, they wanted to make sure that it was so right that it would, because they had what they had already. They had the dynamic. It was there even without me. It was obviously Hannah and Zoe as best friends on the show. They bounce off each other beautifully. Max and Jake and Damon, it was like they feel like friends. You know what I mean? And how we communicate with each other off camera. You feel like we're best friends, and you spend 16 hours a day with each other. You become best friends. So they had that dynamic before the rewrite of Winston. So when I came in, Zoe sat in on every audition just to make sure that like the dynamic is there. We can build that camaraderie. So no matter who we pick, they're comfortable with us. So by the time I booked the show, I had hung out with them on set in these audition scenarios probably like 10 times already. So I kind of was comfortable. So day one on set, like they're like buddies.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Security guards knew who I was. Every time I pull up to set, they'd be like, audition again? I'm like, yeah, I'm auditioning again. Shit, like they need to give you a pass. I'm like, they better, because this is getting crazy. You know what I mean?
So you now are running your show. It doesn't get picked up. They bring you back in for Winston. Where were you when you got the call that you got it, and how excited were you? Because the show was already picked up, so you already knew like, when I get this, we're running and gunning.
We're running and gunning. Literally my whole life changed. What's beautiful about it is that my mom was in town visiting me at the time.
Let's go.
So she's at home. She's at my apartment, and I'm driving from the Fox lot all the way back to the Valley at the time, back in North Hollywood, and I'm with a friend of mine. I had hired a friend of mine. Her name is Alex. And she was fresh out of film school, so she was like an actor. So she was helping me read scripts during pilot season. We were like booming. So she would coach me like in between. So I'd bring her every audition that I had to like, because pilot season you get so many auditions.
Yeah,
you know
you're
what I mean?
learning
So
lines right
many.
before you go into the room.
Right. And so she would be there right there with me, and so right when I had the final test, I was testing against a buddy of mine, and he went in first. And I cheated. I listened.
Bro, I do that all the time. Ear to the door?
Yeah.
I
You're just like,
I was like there. I was like, let me see what's
yeah. I hate when other actors are trying to talk in the room because I'm like,
Yeah. I'm trying to see what I'm like, what they laughing at? Because this motherfucker is funny. Like this dude, his name is Justin Hires. I love Justin. Justin Hires is one of the funniest people on the planet. And I'm just listening to where the laugh is coming from, and like what his cadence is. And all I got from that was that we are two different performers. Like he has a different charm and charisma that I have, and I went in and I was like, oh, I just got to be me, because the reason why he's testing is because they don't know which version of the character they want to go. His was like a cool, charming, like a suave, like funny type, like, and mine was a weird, self-deprecating, kind of awkward and odd. That's just my energy. So I was like, I'm just gonna lean into that, you know what I mean, and not try to do, because what he just did, he's better at it than I'm at. I'm like, I can't go and try to do what he just did.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean. You only got two options here: it's me or
Right.
him. I need to give you something totally different.
And why be him if he's already great at him?
He's great at that.
Yeah.
So I did my own version of it, and it worked out. As me and Justin were walking back to the car, to the parking lot, I get a phone call, and I was like, "Hey, bro, that's my agent. I gotta call you. I'll holler at you later." And so we go our separate ways, and my agent was like, "Hey, is it okay if we give your phone number to some of the Fox people?" And I was like, what does that mean? And she's like, just fucking say yes. And I was like, yes. And then like 10 seconds later, I get a call from Liz Merriweather. And she was just like, congratulations.
The best.
Bro, I broke down in that parking lot at
bet.
the Fox lot in tears. Like, I broke down in tears, man. And I was crying the whole way home on the phone with my mom. Like, you know, I can never forget that day, because nothing else, and I've had a lot of success in my career, you know, thankfully. But that moment kind of, you know, all the hard work, I said, yeah, this makes sense. You know what I mean? And it put everything in perspective for me, that you can't you can't shortcut anything. You have to, like, the grind is going to be the grind. You know what I mean? Whether it's fun or whether it's, you know, difficult, the journey is still the part to enjoy. But once you hit like a benchmark, you're like, oh,
Wow.
that just lets you know, like, it works.
Yeah.
The process
and
works.
the show of that kind of caliber, I mean, it's a hilarious show. It's so well written. I mean, everybody who watches it, like, you can't not watch it like this, like smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
So then you got a show that's just incredible and with an awesome dynamic of people. I mean,
Yeah, you get lucky because you can't predict that. Like
No.
I said, the show that I thought was going to happen on CBS with the sick cast didn't happen.
Well, it's not only that, it's the fact that, like, it's very hard to make a phenomenal show that you could watch 10 years later and still laugh just as hard.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
said you're up there with the greatest shows to ever be written.
Yeah.
Speaking of written, was it more improv based or was it stick to the script?
It was about 75% script. And we got to improvise a lot, though. We improvised, us improvising, and they encouraged it. Like, there'd be moments where it would be like Liz would write something and she would kind of go, this is the energy of it. She's like, the words, just you
Have fun.
Yeah.
have Winston energy and it'll come to you. You know what I mean? So she left us room to just go nuts. You know what I mean?
The whole, like, Winston and Nick mess around and all that stuff. Was that
Yeah.
written or is that, like, something you just spit out?
It was, a lot of it was written. Like the specifics, like that, those are all written, like the little bits. But the nuance of the character, a lot of the jokes were improvised. I think there was a joke I had said, we were talking about how Nick was trying to buy a phone or something like that, and we were like, how'd you get? So I made up a joke. I just said, I was like, how could you get a phone? You have the credit score of a homeless ghost. You know what I mean? Like, they were, and so it felt written, but I, like, came up with it, and I was because that's what we did too. We would, like, Max would be off camera, like keep going, like he would, like, just keep ranting, and then eventually one of those things would either make it into the cut, or the writers would see that and then start writing towards that energy. You know what I mean? So the writers on our show and the creators, that's the actors. We did our jobs as actors, and I think we did them pretty damn good. But the creators, the writers, that's where the magic of New Girl comes from, because they created these weirdly brilliant, honest characters.
Yeah.
You know, all the characters on the show are honest to who they are, including, like, the Schmidt character.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He is a douchebag in the beginning, but he was unapologetic about it, and he had his justifications about it, and it was so real and funny and identifiable to a lot of folks at home. And they did a great job of, like, creating every kind of archetype of people who live in a loft together or who share a space together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was all the writing. That was all there.
You book a substantial role. You're now a part of the family. But when in your heart did you feel like, I finally understand Winston?
Season 3.
Season 3.
Season 3. I was every day of season 1 and 2. I thought I was gonna get fired.
No way.
Every day, because I wasn't. It was a new character. You know what I mean? They hadn't fleshed it out the way they fleshed out the rest of the characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it was a curveball that they had to kind of.
Yeah, they're up against the gun. And remember, Liz has been living with these characters in her head and on pen and paper for years before the show gets picked up. Winston, she had to work on the fly. She had to go,
Figure him out.
Yeah, now there's this new character. How do we write for him? I don't fucking know.
Which
Like,
is crazy because your
yeah.
character, I would feel, was written from the beginning. It was a strong character.
Yeah, it was a strong character. I just had a hard time playing it because, to be honest with you, first pilot season, nerves. How do I want to make a big impression? But I was scared to take big swings as a performer because you don't know how secure your job is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, you can get fired at a table read. You know what I mean? If it's just not working.
Right.
If the
Yeah.
vibe is just not there.
Yeah.
You know, it could be, you know, I auditioned so many times. I'm like, oh, they could do without me.
Did you feel like when you did that other pilot for CBS, did you feel like that gave you confidence? Because you're like, oh, dude, right now I have 2 options. They want me to like go there because they want me so bad. You know, I just did this. Like, did that give you extra confidence?
It did. It did. You know, there's an interesting story. My buddy Ramses Jimenez, dope actor, director, creator. He's been like my brother since we did Second City together back in we actually did a movie together called April Fools. It's 2002 or something like that, like 2001 maybe. I don't know. But he was really close with Chad Boseman. So Chad and him were like buddies, roommates. So I was always kicking it with them. Chad was a budding actor. He was booming. You know what I mean? I forget what movie he had been doing at the time. Maybe 42. I forget what. Anyway, Chad was like a booming actor coming up, and he was coaching me. And he had said to me the night before, he was like, "You have 2 options in front of you," and he goes, "Ain't no need to be nervous." He goes, "Because clearly you're a sought out dude. Even if it's your first pilot season," he was like.
That was your first pilot
my
season?
First and only. I've
You-
never had
Oh,
a-
wait, really? Wow.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
First pilot season. I didn't know what a pilot season.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You got
Wow.
2 offers for
Yeah.
testing?
Yeah, that's wild. That's different.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was meant for you.
It was meant for me.
Let's go.
And during that pilot season, I'd fucked up some auditions. Like I was. Thankfully, there were a lot of pilots happening because I was like,
He's so humble, bro. I don't know one actor. And I don't know one actor that ever was like, let me first jump into this and get 2 testings.
Yeah.
There's people that just brag about being tested. They're like, yeah, I tested for CBS like 6 times. The fact that you tested 2 times your first time, nah, it was your destiny. That was
And you
that was
filmed
cool.
one pilot, and then the other one you're on the show forever. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
When you felt like you were going to get fired on the first 2 seasons, were you scared that Coach's show is going to be done and they're going to replace you with him, or like?
well, honestly, in television, a lot of times there was the idea that you can't have 2 black folks on the same show. So it was like there was a weird energy, and it wasn't just societal. It was interviews. I would do interviews and doing press during season 1. It'd be like, so you replaced Damon Wayans Jr., even though that's not really true. They're like, you replaced Damon Wayans Jr. Like, what's going to happen when he comes back?
Yeah, were you worried about that or no?
No. Well, in the back of my mind, yes. But also I was kind of like, we're 2 different characters. If he comes
Right.
back, then that is just an additional cast member.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, he's black.
Right.
One got to go. That was the energy.
Wow.
That's what I felt like they were saying under the surface.
Yeah.
Wait, so Damon's coming back. What are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm gonna go suck my own dick in a corner. What the fuck do you? What kind of question is that? Like, I'm gonna hopefully still be on the show, but that pressure is there because Damon is a monster performer. So I'm like, God damn it, I haven't found my footing or my voice on this show yet. Is Damon gonna come back and they're gonna be like, it's just better with Damon, and then Winston like. I don't know.
You're gonna
runs
take a
into
trip.
traffic.
Yeah,
Winston runs into traffic in Latvia. So yeah, I was a little nervous about that, and that's where it comes from too. When you're not comfortable, when you're not confident, you fuck up. You gotta walk in there at every room. Even when I'm auditioning, I walk in as if these are my homies, and I'm there to kick it. And I fuck up on purpose in auditions. I fuck up intentionally. Like now, if I'm reading for something, if I'm in person, I'll do like the first part, beautifully to where I think it's really good, then I'll flub a line. I go, fuck, let me run that back.
Oh, interesting.
And they're like, okay, cool. I
You
run it
own
back.
the room.
I own the room, and I'm doing that to show that I self-correct on set as well.
Right.
Like and then even during that moment, I go, okay, they saw that version of the audition on the first half of it. I'm gonna do a different version of that same first half to give them a different flavor.
Nice.
And then I go all the way through the second time, and it usually works. You know what I mean? Like it's typically in my life, I've in-person auditions, I kind of book them a lot.
That's great.
Hollywood's been weird for the past 5 years when it comes to COVID, auditioning.
Yeah.
We had the strike.
Yeah.
I want to take it back to the COVID and then we'll go to the strike. Because you, as actors, you guys have had a fucking obstacle of a time trying to do your job. In COVID, did it throw you off that you have to like audition through a lens and you're like, dude,
Self-tapes?
what is this? Like, there's no authenticity of like the chemistry between you and the director.
Yeah, it did. It was great for the lazy actor, and like because you could just sit your ass at home and do it.
That's so much fun though.
But and the thing it does is that it gives you the ability to do multiple takes and do it until you feel confident. The problem is you can do it 1,000 times, and you got this tape, this 4-minute audition that you think is perfect. You send it to the director, and he's like, not what we're looking for.
Yeah. 10 seconds. Okay.
But, because the director isn't there in real time to give you that feedback, to give you that, to take those notes. There's a lot of things that go into casting a person. You can cast the most talented person, but do you want to work with that person for the next 6 months if they're a real piece of shit?
Yeah.
Boom.
Totally.
And you can tell in an audition, you can get a little bit of a personality check
Yeah.
in an audition. So they want to know if a person's confident enough to self-police. Like I don't need you to hold my hand or babysit or constantly ask for reassurance on set. Like they want to know that they're working with a partner and not like they're not babysitting.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
you miss that when you're self-taping because they'll cast somebody off of a tape and then they'll get to set and they might not be as excited about that person as they thought they would be because they didn't feel that energy.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, you can't really quantify it on tape.
Yeah.
Also, it's like I auditioned for about a year. I booked a good amount, but it was because it wasn't because of my talent. And I tell this to her all the time. It wasn't my talent that got me the job. It was that they
Sucking
were
the right
comfortable
dicks?
around
Oh, sorry.
right dicks. Just go right to the dick. You go right there, and I'm like, give it. It was just my ability to. At the time, thank God, I was doing well on social media, so I wasn't a starving actor, and I used that as my advantage because everybody was desperate, and they were like, "Oh, I need to." When they saw me hanging out in the lobby and just chilling, talking to people, and they were like, "Oh, this kid has a great vibe to him."
Yeah.
And then when I go in there and do a good job, they're like, "Okay, cool, he's good.
Yeah.
I'm not phenomenal. He's good, and he's good to be around. We could see if we could direct him."
Right.
And then I was good at taking directions. So when my friends are getting to the acting world, and I'm like, honestly, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And be very attentive to like listen to what they want, and don't be so stuck on what you want to get done.
Yeah.
And that's my little.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You got to be a team player. You know what I mean? You have to be the sum. You have to be a piece of the puzzle.
Right. You're part of the team and making it happen, and you should want the film or the movie or the TV show to go just as well as they want it to be good, you know? And but yeah, in rooms, you have that energy, you connect relationships, you get to talk more before or after, and then they remember you more, like
100%.
it's different.
People remember how you made them feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you go in a room and you have a good energy. They're like, yeah, I like that person. She was dope. Or like, you can't really teach charisma. You know what I mean? And kindness, these are things you learn as a child, maybe growing up, and you can carry it into the profession. And that a lot of times is what gets you the job. They just want to, directors, creators, producers, they just want to be around good people who can help sell a product, which is a movie or a TV show.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like if you're
It's
going to
still work.
Yeah, because if you're a headache.
Yeah, they don't want to work with
And
you all
how
day.
many hours you have to be with them?
Yeah, they're
that's
like-
more than your family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll find
they're
someone
like-
just as talented who they can, bear.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, it pays to be a good individual.
What was your favorite day on set where you're like, you were just
Yeah.
having a blast, and you were like, man, I'm super blessed to be in the position that I'm in?
Ooh. I don't want this to sound cheesy, but it was like a lot of days like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. It's not
Dude,
cheesy at all.
Oh my God, bro. You would go to set and like there's a basketball hoop there. We would just in between takes like just shoot shots, talk shit, get sweaty. There's a person that comes and changes your shirt. Oh, you have a sweaty shirt? We have a replica. Here, put this one on. Oh, you're sweaty? Here, let's fix your makeup. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that where you're just like, what the fuck? I'm being paid to be here?
Right.
Everything's at your disposal. Everybody's nice. The catering is good. It's not like in Chicago.
Leftover fries.
Everything is great. You drive home in a nice car. You get home to your beautiful apartment or house or whatever, and you're like, what the fuck do I have to complain about? You know, this
You
is
had gratitude.
Which which is why it was confusing to me when I was depressed.
When you felt,
When I
right.
felt, you know what I mean? Like
I'm glad you're not depressed anymore.
Yeah.
No.
That's good.
So then what was your favorite episode, do you think? Like this episode, I don't know, it felt epic or it felt...
It doesn't
you
even have to
do
be
something.
an episode. It could be like a movie you've done. It could be the Proud Family thing that you did, which I found was cool that you played your own character.
Yeah,
on
that
there.
was really funny.
That was pretty dope. One of the producers and creators, Ralph Farquhar, he great guy, man. We were going around town pitching something before that we were gonna make this other show, and so he always thought of me. You know what I mean? He asked me to come in and do an episode of the show. I think maybe two episodes. I forget.
Did you watch it growing up?
Yeah, a little bit. Not
that's
a
cool.
lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, not a lot. But I knew of the show, so when they said it, I was like, "Is Proud Family coming back?"
Come back, yeah. I watch it all
like,
the time. It was
oh,
so good.
And forgive me for my ignorance, but was this like the first sitcom like cartoon that was focused on black characters?
On Disney?
Maybe on Disney.
That's what I'm saying, because I
maybe on
remember when I
Disney.
watched it, it was substantial. People like, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool. This is different. Like I've
Yeah.
never seen anything." And it's like it took over quick because, and I'm not just saying this to be cheesy either. Black comedy is a very strong comedy. Def Jam
Yeah.
is like insane.
Yeah.
All of the greats are black. They're
Yeah.
really, really good at telling jokes.
Yep.
So when they brought to a cartoon, it was a wow factor. It really blew everybody out of the
Yeah.
way. That's why I asked you, because I was like, oh, maybe it was
Yeah.
something cool for you growing up.
Well, I definitely understood where it was in the history of like animated shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like right up there. So for me to get that ask, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
what? Like my nieces hit me up like, how come you didn't tell me you were in Proud Family? I was like, what are you talking about? They were like, I'm watching the episode and
way!
and it's clearly you.
It's literally you.
Yeah, it's like, and then I wait for the credits and I go, yeah, that is this fool. Like, so that was exciting. That was definitely exciting for me. And to play myself, which
Right.
was kind of like, that was cool because it kind of, I don't want this to sound arrogant.
No, that's a flex, dog.
was
That
a
is a
flex.
flex. You came from Chicago,
such
they
an
made you
accomplishment.
animated, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was like, oh, that's pretty dope.
That's crazy.
You're like
dude.
on stage rapping, right? It's like a Renaissance like rapping thing. Dude.
Yeah, but it's also cool because motherfuckers took time to draw you as a cartoon.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
a flex.
That
man.
was pretty good. That
You
was
should get that
pretty
printed.
dope. I do.
Yeah, he has that printed.
Maybe I would have given him a great idea. Okay.
Don't you wish you could time travel and not ask that question?
No.
But no, man. I would say even on that show, I did a show called Woke. Actually, I did a show called Woke, and that was on Hulu. I did 2 seasons of that show.
Were you part of the writing of that show, or are you just an actor?
In a roundabout way, I was a producer on the show.
Yeah.
But in a roundabout way, I would help punch up the scripts. But that was kind of like an all hands on deck thing with the cast. It was a small cast, and so we would read the scripts. We'd have our notes and our ideas, and even on that show, a lot of times we were, there was some like, I don't remember exactly why, but there was some confusion at the top. I just say we went through we had like 4 or 5 showrunners or something.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot of times scripts weren't, it was a weird, to this day, I don't know why, because I think all the writers that we had on there were brilliant and funny. And
You had a strong cast, too.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
strong cast. T. Murph, Blake Anderson, Sashir Zameda. I mean, Rose MacGyver. The cast was sick, man, and a lot of cool guest stars. We had Lil Rel as a voice, Cedric the Entertainer. Eddie Griffin, Billy Magnuson was on the show, and Amy Garcia, bro. It was like a sick, it was like a sick show.
Yeah.
Was that an offer? Or did you audition for that?
There's something called an offer contingent upon a read, which is weird because it's like, so it's not an offer, it's an audition.
Like, you're our type of choice, but come read it first.
Right. So they wanted me to. That's what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to read it. So I did audition once. I auditioned once for it. But at the time, it was for, I forget, the show was written for someone else. It was written for a different performer. And then luckily, let me tell you how life works. New girl, Damon got busy, right? If Damon doesn't get busy and is not occupied with another show, they don't write Winston. Woke, I want to say it was written for Jermaine Fowler, who's another good buddy of mine. One of the funniest, one of the best out there. And he had to take another job, I think.
Wow.
Last minute, so it opened up
God
again.
really
Yet
be
again.
like, nah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like,
I
nah,
was
not
like-
for you guys.
Yeah, I was like, wait, because I had read the script and was like, I love this shit. But they were like, it's Jermaine Fowler is it's the star of it, and we were thinking of you for this other character. I was like, fuck, that's a dope role. And then it just came around randomly. Mo Marable, the director, came in and wanted everybody to read and do a whole thing, and I just think Jermaine got busy or something. I don't think I've actually spoken to Jermaine about it.
Wow.
But like, I think he got busy, and I just was like, this is fucking dope.
This is nice. Move over.
Dope. People are really good, so they're in high demand. Let me slide on in. I don't mind going through the back door.
Nah, honestly,
Am
like,
I right, ladies?
it-
No, sorry, that was terrible. Cut that joke. Because I didn't mean to look over there when I said it.
Wait, you didn't mean to go like that?
I was doing
yeah, he
it.
actually pointed at Reed.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was going to do it like this. I was like, nah, I can't say that. I'm going to get my ass beat on your show. Then I was like, other ladies. I was like,
Not his girlfriend, his
not his
sister.
I was like, my bad. It's
Nah,
okay
nah.
if it's your
Listen,
sister.
you're my guest. Any back door you want. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. Double down, and we're both like, what the fuck? Why did you say it?
But it is crazy you keep going against your friends, because for your test for New Girl, that was a friend who went in
Yeah.
before you, and then this is a friend. So
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. It's a small group of folks that's how hard it is. There's a bunch of things that have to go into it. You know what I mean? It was our time. That class of actor, Damon. I remember auditioning against Eric Andre for a bunch of stuff, commercials, and Eric's one of my like close buddies now, and like, Justin, we'd audition against each other. It was like, that's just kind of the batch, a lot of those, it's that same kind of close in age range, similar characteristics as performers.
Yeah.
It's usually like the usual suspects. Sometimes I'll read a script and I go, who's the short list? And the short list is, Sam Richardson, Lakeith Stanfield, this person, that person. And it's kind of like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, though. It's like
Yeah.
a community, and you guys are kind of like rooting for each other, but at the same time, you're like, I fucking hope you don't get it.
Yeah, but you know what? I got rid of the anger out of, because acting can be bitter. You can get into a place where you're like, that I should have had that role.
Yeah, of course you're not bitter. You
Yeah.
got 2 tests on your first pilot. Who the fuck are you to be bitter about that? I got rid of my bitterness because I was just booking everything.
Well, I got rid of it because I started realizing people are just really fucking good. Like, people, you're not the only person in the room. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because you can get full of yourself a little bit. You could be like,
You have to have some type of
you
confidence.
have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you start watching someone what these other cats are doing, and you're like, God damn, this motherfucker's good.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't hate on it. So you go, oh, Sam Richardson got this job. I'll go, yeah. Have you seen him? Shit.
Yeah.
He's one of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet.
Do you ever hit them up and be like, yo, congratulations? Like,
All the time.
oh, that's really nice.
Oh my God, all the time. And then we see each other. We see each other all the time. And then we give each other shit about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
could have been you.
I can be like, man, I saw the movie, bro. I wouldn't have done that. I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah. I read the script. I know they cut your shit, bro.
Yeah.
I know they cut your shit, bro.
But you know what though? Wouldn't you rather, like, if anyone's gonna get the role, and if it wasn't you and it wasn't meant for you, wouldn't you you rather it be your friend? You
Oh
know?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You want the homies to succeed. You want your community to grow, but also you do want the younger cats coming in to feel confident, because for the sake of our business, we need like hardworking performers. You know what I mean? So you do want to give some of the younger cats confidence to say, hey, this is where you belong, because a lot of folks come out here and it might not work out for the first few years of their career, and they get discouraged and they just go back home. And we just missed out on what could have been one of the greatest performers ever. But this business will crush you. Like, it will crush your soul if you're not strong enough.
You have to love the journey.
Yeah.
You have been loving
Yeah.
the journey. So, I mean, obviously you fucking book right away, but like your journey's very short. And it was got rid of the bitter. When could you have been bitter, bro?
But always a positive outlook, which I think is,
Yeah.
since you were auditioning, since you were in Chicago, positive about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's struggles. You definitely have struggles. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't pay my rent. Car got repoed. I was living in my car at one point. Those are parts of the grind that are like fucking dark. But, you always
appreciate it.
And it makes you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now I buy cars with nicer leather interiors.
Yeah.
So
Just
if I
because
ever
I have a sleeve.
I'm like, we good, baby.
It's heated seats. So do you like shooting characters where you have longevity to build on them? For example, Winston had 8 seasons? 7 seasons. And then you have movie roles where it's like maybe 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Which one do you like to jump into more?
I would say TV. I'd probably say TV, the longevity of a character, because you can, in a movie, you can play a character and then have an idea a week after you wrapped and go, oh, fuck.
He was supposed to be schizophrenic.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
I got it. Let's go back to the reshoot. You're like, it's too late.
Yeah.
So they've wrapped. They've moved on. They've already started editing the film. You got what you got, and you got to get it when you can. So as somebody who's been performing for a good amount of time, like, I used to do a lot of theater. So you have like these 2-month runs, 3-month runs of a production, and you're doing the show a few times a week. Every show is different because you keep coming up with different ideas of that character, and you start adding traits. You start doing little Easter eggs for your scene partners. You start building a camaraderie with the cast, and then by the 5th run, you guys are booming. You know what I mean? In a movie, you gotta build that camaraderie quick.
Yeah.
And build that chemistry quick. That's why casting is so important, to cast folks who are professional enough to make it feel that way. And,
Like right away.
but TV, it gives you the room to kind of like explore. And then it gives the writers room to explore, because they can keep adding things to the storyline and to the journey a little bit,
What movie did you feel most comfortable and active on?
Barbershop. So Barbershop, the last cut, was... That's got to be the sickest cast. I mean, Ice Cube, Eve, Common, Nicki Minaj, Cedric the Entertainer, Anthony Anderson, J.B. Smoove, Regina Hall, Utkar Shambudkar, Margot Bink, you name it. These, I know I'm forgetting somebody, like, they were Dion Cole, like, killers on this set. Like, killers.
That didn't make you more nervous?
No, because they were so encouraging. Right in the beginning, I showed up. So I have sleep issues sometimes. Like sometimes, like, if I got a big day, I get anxiety and I can't fall asleep. Right. And I'm talking up the whole night. Like, don't sleep a minute. And then I'm fucked up for the shoot or the thing I got to do. And it's like, damn it, I wasn't my best self. So before the table read, the night before, I said, I'm gonna take an edible. I need to pass out. Yeah. This is when I realized my metabolism wasn't shit. Like, I took that edible, man. I felt like that shit kicked in when I was supposed to wake up.
No,
Because I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I got some sleep, but I woke up high as a kite.
Were you stressed, or are you just chilling because you're high?
Bro, I was stressed. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And I had to call a car. I had to literally call a car to drive me to the thing, because I was like, there's no way I'd be able to operate a vehicle. like my hands were moving in a weird motion. I was like, what the fuck did I ingest?
Also, who takes an edible and goes right to bed?
That's what I had to do. I had to sleep. I needed to.
So it hit while you were like 2 hours into your sleep. It hit.
Yo, this shit hit me late. It hit me very late in the
Always
process.
unpredictable.
That's why I don't really do it. I can't because I can't tell. You know what I mean?
So
And
how did you get into the...
Dude, so I get to the table read and I'm like, it's fading slightly, but I'm still high. And I'm looking at this guy Utkarsh who's right next to me at the table read in the commons on my other side. We're doing it, we're reading it, and they're laughing. So I'm like, okay, I'm not drawing much attention to myself, so they probably don't know that I'm high. I lean over to Utkarsh and I go, bro, hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I took an edible. Like, is it noticeable? And he goes, yeah, dude. No. He goes, everybody's been talking about it.
That's the worst thing you could know while you're high.
I was like, fuck. And I'm like freaking the fuck out. And this is common right next to me. And I don't want to do that. So, but I did it anyway because I'm high, and my high brain wasn't necessarily in its right brain. So I said to Common, I was like, Common, man, hey, I took an edible, man. And he's like, what? I was like, I took it yesterday, but it's still in my system. Like, am I like, do I look fucked up? He's like, nah, G, you good, bro. It's like, just chill, bro. Enjoy that shit, bro. You chilling, bro. You good. And when he said that, I was like, oh, I look over at Utkarsh and say, what the fuck? And he was like, nah, I'm fucking with you. He's like, I had no idea you were high.
Oh, what an asshole. That's so funny,
That's
bro.
fucked up, bro.
And
Dude, everyone's staring at you.
Yeah.
So I just, at that moment, everybody was like super cool with me. And they all knew about New Girl, so they knew of who I was. And it wasn't like I was just coming in cold. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, everybody in this movie has a thing that they do. And the director made it so much. The director, Malcolm Lee, who's till this day one of my favorite, not just directors, but like people on set, because he's very, very encouraging. Like, I would break character to try to keep up with Cedric the Entertainer and like JB Smoove doing a bit, or like Deion Cole's doing a bit back and forth. I would try to like chime in, and he'd be like, Lamorne, nope. Man, you got your own type of funny. We hired you to do that thing. And I was the only one in the movie doing that thing. And so he would be like super encouraging. Ced would pull me to the side and be like, hey, man, I'm trying to think of a funny punchline for this. And you got weird comedy, bro. Like, he's like, help me come up with the punchline to this thing. And so we would come up with bits. And internally, I'm like a little schoolboy. I'm like, oh, Cedric the Entertainer.
Bro, he's a legend.
He's all time.
Yeah.
Like, it's all, when they write a book on comedy, period, Cedric the Entertainer is going to be in that book. And I'm like sitting down, kind of like tossing jokes around with Cedric. Like, this is crazy. And it gave me the most confidence, the most. And they would let us improvise. Like, again, Malcolm would be like, just fucking go. Just have fun. Ice Cube, same thing. Ice Cube was so serious on the set, but because he knew this was his franchise and he was serious about you being true to your character. So he'd be like, hey, man, do your shit, bro. That's why we got you here. You got it. You got a weird sense of humor, bro, but it's like, that's what we need in this film. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Okay.
I love that everybody's always like, your sense of humor, man, you're weird.
Dude, you're weird to the weirdos, bro. That's fucked up.
Hey, listen, I'm a creep. Am I right, ladies? Okay.
I was at 1600 Vine is where all the social media kids would create content.
I know, I was there.
You all over the place. But how come I never saw you there?
Bro, I started Vine.
Were you part of Vine? Because I was only on it for like 2 months.
Dude, the beginning of Vine, I was already friends with Batch, Daystorm, Alpha Cat, all these cats, right? We would kick it together. Batch would do this charity trip in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Called the Rujan Foundation. It's a great foundation that gives scholarships to kids, athletic scholarships, all kinds of things, right? So Batch was like, oh, you guys want to come to this trip that we're doing? I said, great. They come to pick me up in a taxi outside of my apartment in like Hancock Park. I come downstairs, and they're all on their phones way more than usual. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Because Batch is YouTube at the time. Daystorm is YouTube at the time. And I'm like, what are they doing? They were making Vines. And they were like, you don't have Vine? I was like, I mean, I downloaded it like a couple months ago, but I don't think I've ever used it. And they were like, bro, we figured it out. We figured
They
it out.
really did. They were the kings on that.
Dude, when I got in the car with them, I think Batch had like 500 followers at the time on Vine. He had just literally started making these videos. By the time we got to Jamaica, they were making videos a lot. By the time we stopped in Miami. So we flew from LA to Miami, making videos at the airport, all this shit, right? We're at a mall looking for something, I forget, looking for like pants or some shit at the mall in Miami. And these kids ran up and they were like, yo, you King Batch? He was like, yeah. They're like, dude, I love your Vine.
No
He was
way.
like- He was like, I just started.
No way.
Yeah,
it
he
took-
was the king of that platform.
Wow.
King, no, like legit.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
bro, like, fucking, it was an overnight thing. They're gonna make a movie about his life and like all that shit that they
Yeah.
started. Because think about it, he like he said, started in LA. By the time he got to Miami, he was getting views that a TV show sitcom would get.
Yeah, it
That's
was
crazy.
nuts. In fact, I was outside of New Girl. Like I would leave set and I would drive to Batch's place at 1600 Vine, and we would make videos, or Day Storm's place. So we would
Wow.
always meet at one of these places, and people would be like, "Bro, you're on a hit." sitcom." No joke, we were the #1 show on television.
Yeah.
#1, and I'm over here making vines and shit.
Hey, you ahead of the curve, my guy.
Bro, so I went to the head of PR at Fox, and I was like, hey, we should start, making like, we should get a Vine account.
Smart.
New
For
Girl.
because they started like they were like, oh, you guys gotta get verified on this, you gotta get verified on Twitter and Instagram, and I was like, dude, like Vine, I'm telling you, like the whatever the algorithm is doing, it's booming. Like everyone sees your content, and the numbers grow, because then like my numbers just started shooting up, crazy, like ridiculously, like fast.
And that's crazy because, like, not to even pause you, but like you were on a huge sitcom, and then in the midst of it, what season was this?
2, I want to say.
So you're on a hit show. Through in your brain is like, okay, cool. This is what I wanted to do my whole life, and now there's a whole different beast of a machine coming in,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm gonna get involved with this.
But you know what's crazy? I didn't even see that part. I just saw that it was fun, and it was my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like,
That's why humble guys win, man.
no, yeah. I was literally like, no, I'm just kicking it with the homies, making weird videos.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even like pressed about the building of my own platform. Like I would write a Vine or create an idea for a Vine and then give it to somebody else, like a funny one.
Yeah.
Like the backflip video, Batches.
You
but
did
that
not-
backflip,
you did
but
not-
that backflip though.
You did not create that.
No. Batch had an idea for it. If you go to his place, his wall was just covered in ideas and like a calendar.
Yeah.
I want to shoot this idea with this actor, this actor, this actor. He was that precise. His idea for that backflip was a criminal comes, robs the lady, and Batch is doing like some sort of karate shit. And she's like, help, my purse is getting away. And he's just like doing kung fu the whole time by himself. Like,
I remember this
practicing.
Vine too. This blew up.
And then like the guy runs away. He's like, that didn't help. He's just like still doing his own thing. And I think he had either just injured himself doing something, and so the idea was, why don't you just do like a cartwheel or act like you're running towards him, but then do something else. And he was like, oh, boom. So he's acting like he's going to run towards him, and then he does a backflip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was, and then look at the camera part. That was like a collaboration. Batch had like, when I say like the most brilliant ideas, like that were all there, but a lot of people did too, but they were moving the ideas around. You know what I mean? He just happened to have the best ideas. He just happened to be
He's the
like
king at it.
The king. You know what I'm saying? So,
and he still is, bro. If you like the shit that he's working on now, and you give me the same vibes as him, it's like and I mean this, and I'm not just saying this to gas you up, and I'm not saying this to gas Batch up. I could meet a man and know that motherfucker has real confidence. And real confidence when you walk into the room is, I got what I got. Let's hang out. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
And Batch and you have that same energy where you walk in, you own the room, but you're easy to approach because you have like a humble heart. And there's
Totally.
nothing cooler than watching somebody on top kill it, but be like everybody else in the room. It's
Oh
inspiring.
man, thank you, brother. I'm an inspiration.
I do what I can do.
I love it so much.
So during that time when I had gone to the PR folks, they had said, no, Vine, you're on a TV show. What the hell is Vine? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the network hated social media.
Dude, we were walking through the mall doing a press tour for season 2. As we're walking, the airport. As we're walking to the airport, you know those like Hudson newsstands or whatever? There's these kids behind it, right? And we walk in, and one of the dudes is freaking out. He's like, and I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? And he's like, what's up, bro? And he's like, I love your shit, dude. And I was like, oh, thank you, man. And then the PR guy was like, see? He's like, your show is a hit. And I was like, I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, I don't think he's dapping me up because of New Girl. Like, young black kid, you know what I'm saying, cornrows. I was like, And I was like, hey, bro, let me ask you something. How do you know me? And he goes, you be in them videos with Batch, right?
Wow.
It's like, you on Vine?
Was that in front of the producer?
In front of the producer. In front of the PR exec. I was like, see? I was like, that's just from being in his videos. I was like, imagine if I took it seriously and started making more videos.
Would they not allow you to do that?
No, they would, but they thought it was nonsense.
Because that would have been great, like for the cast to mess around in between takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Off, like just being on set.
It would have been great.
Yeah.
Social media stars had this ability where they just for a split second, the networks were like, whoa, these guys have a huge audience, let's give them a chance. The people that had huge audiences were not good at acting, and they were divas.
Yeah.
So they burnt a bad taste in their mouth. When I walked in, my agent was like, if you mention that you're on social media, they'll walk you the fuck out of the room.
Yeah.
They hated us.
Yeah.
Hated us.
Yeah.
So I could imagine what it was like being in the network, and then they were like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, they're like, please don't go that route.
Yeah.
And I was like,
But now they're like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh shit, you should have went that route. You should have.
You told me not to.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I definitely did not dive into, even though I was a part of that origin story of the big Viners, I never took that dive completely. I mean, I'm shooting 16 hours a day on set. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard. But there were times where I want to say Fox later, like a year later, was asking Batch to come promote stuff for different shows. You know what I mean? And pay him big money to do it, like these brand deals. And I'm like, see, you could have, if you would have just followed the blueprint, your cast members could be as big as him.
Right.
But no, Batch
now they
just-
look at that.
Yeah.
Now they're
Yeah.
like, does he have a following? Does he have an audience? Could he sell? And I find it so funny, but also, you know, you learn when you're in this industry. Now I learned, stick to your gut. If it's like something you think is cool, people might catch on later.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Because it's your journey. If you like it, I look at Adam Sandler. I go, he's one of my favorites just in general. He's like, I don't want to be blasphemous, but he's like God to me.
A little blasphemous.
A little blasphemous. You know,
And you could have gone anywhere else, and I would have all you did with you, but you had to go to our Lord
He's
and
like
Savior.
our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to me.
He doesn't even believe in him.
Say it.
I can't.
He's Jesus Christ.
All of that got cut.
I'm glad we agree Adam Sandler is Jesus Christ.
No, we already cut that. Did you like him because he would work with the ensemble that he always chose?
Yes.
That's
He
what
was-
my dream was. dude.
Yes, he was doing his thing, what him and his friends found funny, and surprise, millions and hundreds of millions of other people find it funny too.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, I can do, and he still does it. He's Adam Sandler still.
He's
No
incredible.
one could say anything bad about this guy.
No.
I've never met anybody who's like, even if they were like, oh, I don't like his movie. I've literally heard people be like, I don't like his movie, but I love him. And it's like, I don't even know how that's even possible.
Yeah.
Like, how are you that cool of an individual? Like his memes of him playing basketball and shit.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to meet him just because he inspired me to be real.
Yeah.
I picked a lot of things from people. Like I picked stuff from Eddie Murphy. I've picked out little things. I can't morph myself into them, but I could take characteristics that I love and see if it can implement it in my life.
Right.
And his was, I'm going to write with me and my friends, and we're going to have a great time, and I'll hand it to you. If you want it, take it.
Yeah.
And everybody was just snatching it out of his hands because it was gold.
100%, man.
Well, how was working? Because you worked on a movie of his, right?
Yeah.
Wexler?
Yeah. I worked on a movie called Sandy Wexler. They cast me in it, and that was another one of those moments where I was like, almost like a teary-eyed situation where I was just like, holy fuck, I'm about to meet. It's not even meet. I had met him once, and I had to wait until we were done filming to remind him of the story. I was walking down the street in New York with my girlfriend at the time. and I was wearing a laptop bag that had BET on it because I was a TV host for BET from 2005 till 2008. And Adam is like, at the time, he's like, you say our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Not me. That's actually you. I remind you on Judgment Day.
And so I see him and I'm like freaking the fuck out. I think he's sitting down with like Kevin James and Alan Covert and like his squad.
Yeah,
No
that's so
way.
fucking
like,
cool. The Rat Pack just in front of you, bro.
I was like, this is nuts. And I'm like, I gotta go say something to him. And I'm freaking myself out, so I don't. My girlfriend is like, just walk by and just say, hey, I love your work, and then leave. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Muster up the courage. I walk over. He's like, hey, how you doing, buddy? And I was like, hey, what's up?
Well, that was a very good impression. Yo, bro, that was fucking amazing.
He goes, hey, how you doing, buddy? I said, oh, man, I'm a big fan of yours, man. All of y'all. I was like, I'm just walking by and I just wanted to say what's up. And he goes, hey, have a seat, man. And we're just sitting down talking. They're sitting down having a conversation. He's like, so where are you from? And I was like, oh, Chicago, Second City, and I'm an improviser. He's like, oh, good. He's like, I know you got the BET bag. And I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, I'm friends with Reggie Hudlin. And at the time, Reggie Hudlin was in charge. He was the boss over there.
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah. And he's a guy. I was like, so that's your friend? I was like, oh, cool. That's dope. That's dope. And he was like, so one more time, what was your name? I said, Lamorne. He goes, what's your last name? I was like, Morris. And he goes, oh, I'm going to remember you, buddy. I'm going to remember. Lamorne Morris. Good. And then shook their hands, and then I walked away. And this is years later, obviously. I'm sure he didn't remember me. But I'm there, and he's the kindest on set. When I say kindest, I'm like unreasonably nice. No reason to be this nice. Everybody's in good spirits. The same craft service guy he's been working with for over 20 years.
Wow.
He's just the guy.
I'm like, that's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. So every day I was on set there was great too.
Dude,
you know what
you're
I mean?
like,
yeah, I pull up to set. Adam's outside. He's like literally meeting me by my car. Oh, come here. I want to show you. Quincy Jones is here. You gotta meet him.
Does he know you could do an impression like him, like this good?
I don't know if I can do an impression of him, but like, I guess if.
Nah, it's good.
No, I'm kidding. No, but then I'm talking with Quincy Jones, and then like Adam's there the whole time, just like showing me around, like letting me talk to people. And it's like, hey, Arsenio's here too. Hey. Arsenio, you gotta meet this kid. Come on. And I'm like, guess he doesn't have to be this nice.
No need.
He's running a movie right now. He should just go keep running the movie. Instead, he's like,
aren't you busy?
He's like,
How did it feel
amazing.
going from walking on the street and being like, hey, I love your work, to on set a part of his work? Like, what does that do to your heart, dude?
man, honestly, it just keeps keeps reminding you that you're on the right path. Just keep doing what you're doing. Like, there's no need to try to like be extreme in any way. Just live your life. Live your life. Keep doing the things that you're doing. You know, surround yourself with the people that you love, and that like just I don't do anything for like show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. I don't like tabloids. I don't need to try to, date a Kardashian, which would be great. If
you're going to do a shout out to the Kardashian, I'm doing a shout out to Adam Sandler. Forget the Kardashian. I want to meet you on the street. I don't even care if it's outside your house and I'm waving at you. Like, please, the Kardashian. What a waste of a shout out. I don't even like.
I'm just saying they could really help me.
About the press, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I would say I don't do things for like that. You know what I mean? I've been lucky enough in my career and blessed enough in my career where I'm like, I'm living a comfortable life that I like, that I enjoy. And obviously you want to keep doing more and doing better. But like, I don't have any weird vices. I don't have any of that stuff.
You don't smoke weed at all?
Sometimes to sleep.
I heard.
Sometimes. Well, that was edible. God damn. No, I sometimes to sleep. I'll have like a indica pen that I'll just like hit. I don't do it like this.
Just
with
to
the pen.
relax?
I'll go like this. With the pen. just to like put my brain in like just go to sleep.
I have an addictive personality, so I started out like that, and then now I smoke whatever. Like, it's
you're
just
high
so
right
bad.
now.
Not right now. No. I would never show up to work high, man. That's actually unacceptable. Just can I get my water, please? Dude, I wanna take a dive into your future and where do you see yourself going? Because for me, like when I got to a place in my mind where I wanted to go, everything kind of like, again, I got comfortable, I got lazy, I got a little insecure, I got scared, and you just keep walking into these blessings. So if you could walk into any blessing right now, where would you picture yourself and where do you want to place yourself?
You know what's interesting is I enjoy I enjoy working a lot. I have a 3-year-old daughter now, so
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Her name is Lily, and
I love that name.
Yeah.
That was the name of my imaginary friend when I was little.
really,
Yeah, I used because my middle name is Lee, so I was like my imaginary name is Lily, and I just love that name.
Oh, well, yeah, that's Lily. You know, and you'd love her. She's an exciting child. Like there's no dull moment with her. Like she wild, but also like
She's like you, a prankster, like a little fun
oh my
energy.
God, yeah. And
Really?
she's such a sweetheart too. Like you gotta really be able to keep up with her. And I want to do that. So the more I'm around, the better. You know what I'm saying? Of
course.
So as much as I enjoy like traveling for work and doing all those things, what I would rather, I don't know, where I see myself is maybe staying more local to a project that's in town, you know, something that I've created where I can kind of build on the energy of the people that came before me, like Adam Sandler. You know what I mean? Write something and create something as dope as Liz Merriweather would do. Collaborate with some of
love
these
that.
folks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where I'm in town and my daughter could be a part of that journey, as opposed to her having to leave school and travel with me to set and get tutors and I just want her to have a semi-normal, like organized, kind of structured life, and then we go have fun in the summer. You know what I mean? And it not be like daddy's gone all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I definitely don't want that.
Yeah.
You know, especially because both of her parents are actors. You know what I mean? Like her mom's an actor, and so there are times where she has to work, and it's like, you know, I would rather be working but in town. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Totally.
Do you want her to be a part of this industry?
As much I don't, but I think she will be because she's so dope.
You could already see it on her.
I can see it.
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
She's a
both of her
character,
parents.
Yeah, and she's got that. When I was a kid, I used to do bits. My mom would tell me. She's like, I was always goofing off. I was always saying funny, clever things. That's my daughter, and it blows my mind every time. Even if I'm mad at her, even if I'm like, she'll do it, and I'll have to like show her like daddy's upset, and I'll turn around and start laughing. Like, this girl is good. She's good.
Damn, at 3, you're like,
Damn, this girl's sharp. Like, you know, so I'm still trying. But you know, what's interesting about that is that it's good and it's bad at times, because there are times in like school where she's like, Daddy thought this was funny. Let me do this bit here. And I'm like, no. She doesn't understand the difference yet. Like,
Yeah.
you can't.
That's so funny.
There was a time we were leaving the plane. Traveling with her is always a fun thing, because she gets rowdy on the plane sometimes. And like when the pilots say put your seatbelt on, she's like, no, this is where I take my seatbelt off, and this is where I want to walk around, and this is where I feel like exploring the cabin. And I'm like, no, baby, you gotta sit you a little bit. You know, you sit right. And then she'll like throw a tantrum, right? So I'm like, this one particular flight, she was an angel. I'm talking like perfect the whole time. We're watching a movie, we're drawing, we're coloring. She's eating everything because usually she's very picky. I'm like, oh, like she's trying to help daddy out today. Like, this is a great flight. The flight lands. Pilots, you know how they greet you at the flight attendants and the pilots, they greet you at the exit. She chooses now to say, "Come on, Dad, let's go get my shit." Aggressively loud. And I was like, I didn't teach her that. I was like, I think she said ship. I was like so confused. I'm like holding her hand like, because she's used to like get off the plane, go to baggage claim. Like, that's her thing. Come on, let's go get our shit. Let's get my shit. And I was like, who taught her that? I call my sister and I tell her, and she was like, "Oh," she's like, "My bad."
No.
Because that's how Alicia Renee. I'm talking to you.
How dare you?
Renee, my play sister, teaches her bad words on accident.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
On accident, because she'll just be like, Alicia, when she comes to the house, she's like, "All right, gotta go, gotta get my shit. Let's go." And then she'll leave, and she'll like grab her keys. Let me get my shit, and then get up, and then go. That's what she says whenever she's leaving the house.
And did she probably
So
said it with
funny.
emphasis because she was like, "I'm gonna make Daddy proud right now."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Daddy, let's go. I'm gonna grab my shit.
shit.
And he's just like, wow.
I was like, what? She's a sponge, man. She picks up
Yeah.
everything. Facial expressions, she picks everything up.
Oh, that
man.
so she's born to be an actress.
She's gonna be a performer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, as much as I don't want it, I don't want to like harness whatever she wants to do, and that I'll let her try it out.
Yeah.
Did it change you having a daughter?
Yeah.
Because everybody says that, but why?
I'm more patient now, because I genuinely feel like I have to be more on top of protection with her.
Yeah.
I'm not a woman, so I don't know how to teach her woman stuff. So I have to do extra research and seek the counsel of my mom and my sister and the women in my life. Like, okay, how do I, in this moment, or can you come and help me out? I felt like if I had a boy, I would have just been like, go, go play. Oh, he's peeing on the street again. Good, that's my boy.
That's my man.
Yeah. Whip that out. Let him know what time it is. Yeah. Cause a blackout in this whole. Yeah, that's my boy.
my son.
That's my son. Taking a
Get
shit.
your shit.
Taking a shit in the playground. Yeah, yeah,
Get your shit.
Yeah, get your shit. I felt like I just wouldn't have been as hands-on.
Yeah.
And with my daughter, I'm glad I had a daughter because she teaches you that you have to be very hands-on, especially in areas of like womanhood that I don't know. So now I have to pay attention to all those things and like focus on those things. And then in your life, even if you're a single guy, you start to treat women differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't,
Because you're like, this is somebody's daughter.
right.
Yeah.
I'm just a different person. You know what I mean?
feel you. You're like, choke me. Like, you don't need that.
Yeah. No. Let's do it with the lights on and our
Yeah.
clothes on.
Eye contact. Eye contact.
I love you. I love you.
You're like, this is the worst Tinder date I've ever had. Get out.
Yes. Damn, I thought I was supposed to be respectful. That was a different way you could be.
It's so funny.
Yeah, can I ask you, what did it feel like? Did it feel exciting dating when you found your success? Was it like, damn, this is my time, I'm gonna go and have fun, or was it like stressful because you're like, I don't even know if they're with me for the right reasons?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I'm not like DiCaprio, where I'm sure he has an issue. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like fairly known, so I feel like people sometimes have ulterior motives. You know what I mean? So you don't really know what they are. Because there are moments when you meet somebody who genuinely doesn't care about any of that. They just want to get to know you. But you've become so jaded in a way where you might self-sabotage on accident because you're like looking for the mole in the room. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's I'm not gonna lie to you, was hard to navigate and still kind of is in a way.
Certainly in the
is that-
city too.
Yeah,
Is that what-
yeah,
In LA,
yeah.
Do you date only like actors because you're like, oh, they understand my life? Because like sometimes it's a little tough to explain.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that I'm open to whatever profession you're in, but I do find that people in the entertainment space understand more when you're not available. Because there are times where you're gone and you do have to interact with other women. You do have you don't have time to deal with the insecurities of what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
Who are you with?
What's the scene about?
Yeah, whose butt you eating today?
Yeah.
I'm not eating butt today. Man. I'm just not.
Check the calendar.
Yeah. So, and vice versa. I'm not gonna. I'm a very insecure person at one point in my like relationships. You know what I'm saying? And it's difficult because it's like I know that I'm on set with like whoever I'm working with, and I'm like, damn, that'd be dope if it went down.
Yeah.
But you can't because it's professional.
Was there anybody on set of New Girl that had like romantic couple? You don't have to mention who it is. Was there anybody like dating on set? You're like, damn, you guys gotta be careful.
No. Nobody. I mean, we're such a small group. Everybody's all married, and everybody like there was never anything like that. I'm trying to think if I think I dated somebody who worked at Fox before, but that's as close as we got to like cast. Zoë Kravitz would call me a lot and want to date me a lot, but I didn't have the time for her.
Yeah.
And to this day, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I will be calling you back. I changed my number to stop you from calling me so often, but now I'm gonna call you. Hopefully your number hasn't changed. Never met this woman in my life. But I fantasize.
But you never know.
She will come to her senses one day.
She's gonna see that clip and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yeah. That's not the only clip.
What, like,
Stalking
put
this
her
woman
mouth
for a
there.
while. Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, again.
which character did she play?
Tell this dude to drop it. No, Zoë Kravitz was never on New Girl.
No, she's in that. Isn't she a Marvel character?
She's Batwoman, Catwoman.
Catwoman.
And the
The new Catwoman.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing here. Yeah, he's mad cool, bro. He got a beautiful daughter. He's successful. He's when he went to go to the bathroom,
Celsius.
yeah, his dick came out, and I was like, nah, I get the confidence.
Yeah.
And why he books 2 times in the first pilot.
That's
He's
right.
flying on his own shit.
What's up, little guy? Sorry.
That's so funny. Yeah, holler at my boy. And at the same time, Adam, hit me up.
Again.
I'm gonna meet him one day. I promise. And he's gonna be sitting there, and I'm gonna be like, bro, you know how many times I've been talking about you?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a great dude.
I mean, this happened with you.
Yes.
We became friends because I literally kept posting stories of New Girl, and he was like, my guy. And I literally showed everybody in the house, like, dude, look.
Yeah, literally.
Look. Thank you so much for being on the
course,
show,
bro.
man. I had a really good time getting to know you in a deeper way.
Oh, man.
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Oh my
Have you
God,
on.
you all as well. Yeah.
I would love to play you in basketball.
if you could, if you can keep up.
Let's see who's gonna win. Who do you put in the comment section? Who you have your bets on? We'll update you.
That's not fair.
Know this. I'm nasty.
What's yours?
Nastier. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week. And is there anything coming up that you guys want me to tell them about or be excited about?
I actually can't promote
Oh, because of the strike.
because of the strike, but I do have a show coming out, and you can go and find it on your own.
Yeah.
Google
You
his
still
name.
can't talk about it?
No, can't talk about it. I don't even think I was supposed to be talking about New Girl, to be honest with you. I
Well,
don't think I
No,
could.
but you're not promoting. We're talking about
Just an interview.
memories.
Just an interview, yeah. But no, yeah, I can't tell you to go watch the show that I have coming out in November. I can't.
And God forbid, I would ask you what platform that would be on.
I couldn't tell you. I actually refuse.
Okay.
That I'm like, nope.
But you could Google his name and see, check it out.
How about this? When the time comes that you could, we'll make like a little pit stop in this episode, and I'll
Yes.
tell everybody that's got going on.
Okay.
I just slur. I think I had a stroke right now.
Probably.
Thank you for being here.
Oh man, thank you.
Thank you.